Right. Right. Hello everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to Demajen Gaming. I will be your host for the day, and on this very bright sunny day, I am avoiding the sun entirely and staying inside and doing some Final Fantasy XIV gameplay. We are today going to play through some, if not all, of the Heavensward patch 3.2, which is entitled The Gears of Change. And Gears of Change was quite a big patch in terms of story, because they finally figured out a use for a character that I've had certain criticisms for up until this point. But more importantly, they added quite a lot of content. So let's take a look at the Gears of Change. We had the main scenario quest. A little bit of a weird choice to put that on the main page. We've got some Hildebrand adventures. We've got the second tier, I think, of Alexander raiding, Alexander Midas, which I have not done. We've got Containment Bay S1T7, which is the fight against Sephiroth, which I'm told was a very entertaining fight. Sephiroth the Fiend was a deity once worshipped by a tree-like race native to Mercidia, brought into being for the sole purpose of repelling the Allagan invasion that we've learnt about in the end of 3.0. I haven't done that either. Stone Sky Sea was introduced, which is a training ground after, I want to say, months and months of people saying, yeah, we need decent training dummies, or we need like DPS meters or something like that. This was Square Enix's answer to that. So they would give you training dummies and a time limit, and you needed to be able to hit a certain DPS threshold, which would prove, quote unquote, to you that you were capable of doing this particular whichever dungeon. The Hall of the Novice was introduced in 3.2, including the that level 30 ring that gives you a nice chunk of XP boosted under level 30. The mentor system was introduced to give you the little crown icon so that you can mentor some sprouts, and I don't think it's had quite the desired effect, but it does give you some nice bonuses. The Nath Beast Tribe quests were introduced, allowing you to access that particular outfit for yourself, as well as the Kangamato flying mounts, which I've always thought was very, very silly looking. New dungeons. The Anti-Tower. We'll be going there today. So I won't talk to you about that yet, but I really liked the Anti-Tower. It's got some great music, it's got some amazing visuals. The Lost City of Amdapur, also a really good dungeon, in my opinion. Really enjoyed going through the Lost City of Amdapur hard. There were some PvP updates. And that was actually updated again in 3.3. New tomestones were introduced, new crafting recipes for new gear, loads of new hairstyles. The Orchestrion was put in during this patch, which was great because it meant it gave some the completionists something new to hunt after. All of the different Orchestrion roles from all of the different music tracks, which you could then set on a playlist of your own devising in your house. It's great, although a lot of people did just set the papaya, that one, in their houses on repeat for a very long time. Also, there was some airship customization added for your free company airships. So there was quite a lot added in this patch. And here's the key art for it. We've got big crystal in the background, and what looks like Minfilia. And I think a Moogle down there. I think that might be the artist's signature. So that's the Gears of Change, and this is a reasonably straightforward patch. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 quests in the Gears of Change, but one of them requires an instance, which obviously makes things take a bit longer. And the second one requires a solo duty. There are 2 emotes that we get from this. There is a Pogo Rogo, which are the little frog creations of Matoya. We get a little minion of those, and there are quite a few pieces of gear now available from these quests. Again, to help people gear up a little bit more. Not really worth it if you've got the 255 stuff, because these are only I think they're 240. In fact, they'll be the same. Yeah, I think they're the same level as the augmented stuff. Okay, let us begin. Totoro is waiting to share good tidings with you and Alphino. You see Flamine, Coultonay and Hoary Boulder in the background there. Alphino, Demajen, I've been looking all over for you. We've received news regarding Flamine, Hoary Boulder and Coultonay. Really? Has something happened? No, it's nothing bad. Quite the opposite. In fact, it seems that once they learned the Sign's good name had been restored, they boarded the next ship bound for Limsa Lominsa. They should be arriving any moment now. It's easy to forget how useful link pearls are, isn't it? When they work, I mean, and you don't mind being spied on. Yes. There is no privacy setting for link pearls, as far as I know. Quite. But what wonderful news to think that our reunion is close at hand. A pleasure to see you too, Alphino. Ah, Thancred and Kryl. What brings the two of you here? Kryl and I have been looking into how we might track down Minfilia. And we may just have found the answer. Woohoo! Demajen, when you were fleeing Uldar with Minfilia, you said that Hydaelyn spoke to us shortly before you parted ways, yes? Well, assuming that's true, and I see no reason to suspect that it's not, it seems reasonable to conclude that Hydaelyn commanded her to remain behind. She did. That is to say, the Mother Crystal directly interceded to guide Minfilia. Admittedly, this is all still quite hypothetical, but I propose that such intervention, however subtle, must surely leave some residual trace, a lingering disturbance in ether, or ripple, if you will. In order to establish the existence of such ripples, of course, we will require suitable data. Fortunately, I know where such data can be found. The battleground where you felled the Ultima weapon, and the site of my personal ignominy. I hate that word. 'Twas there that Hydaelyn intervened to shield her from the magic I invoked. Kryl and I will infiltrate the castrum and analyse the ether therein. The two of you? Alone? I have a proven knack for subterfuge, and I'm confident there will be sufficient nooks and crannies in which to hide Kryl while the patrols pass. Besides, if you and Demajen come along, who will see to Flamine's grand homecoming? When you put it like that. Very well, I'll trust in your plan. I still don't know why he's in charge. I know not whether this data will yield a means to find Minfilia, but it will at the very least eliminate another avenue of inquiry. Totoro and I will return to the Rising Stones and make preparations for our comrade's return. Might I impose upon you to meet them at the Lominsan docks? Yeah, suppose. Then I shall see the four of you at the Rising Stones. Safe travels. I do wonder if they program the timing of the Warrior of Light's nods to make the delay longer or shorter depending on the how dumb Alphano's request is. Ah, Limpsa Laminsa. No ventures in progress. We'll probably go and get some venture tokens actually. I've got plenty of gear that I can turn in. Flamine! Hi guys! Oh, Demajen, how have you been? Come here, let me have a good look at you. Nod. Thank the 12. One hears the strangest tales in foreign lands. Is that being picked up on stream as well? I think the texture seam there is kind of a bit crazy. I worried about you every day. That's kind of worrying. But my graphics card's not dying. We'd have sent word sooner, but the Braves afforded us no opportunity. When they fell upon us in the market, it was all we could do to escape. Tataru found a way to you, of course, but we were forced to seek shelter aboard a Hannish vessel. Yeah, it pained us not being there when you needed us most, but we made the most of it, didn't we, Kiltonay? Stood in the train from dusk till dawn, we did. Yes, you'll notice he's upgraded his armour, I think. We would have sent word sooner, but we knew not whom to trust, and with the vast distance. But those dark days are behind us at last. I shall be glad indeed to return home and speak with my daughter. Ah. What do you mean she's missing? How could you let this happen? Wasn't really our choice. Forgive me, I am sure you were doing everything in your power to find her. As Thancred must be. He watched over her from the first, long before me, and he will watch over her to the last. I shall pray for a safe return and busy myself in the meantime. For certainty there is much more to be done. The Braves may have blooded us, but the path remains, and we shall not be swayed from it. Aye, that's the spirit. To the Scions and a long overdue reunion. Huzzah! That looks really weird without... It looks like there needs to be more shadows on that outfit. It looks a bit too plasticky. Well, there you have it. To the Rising Stones. I am a little bit worried. Ooh. Oh, that's Thancred though, isn't it? Kryl in disguise.
Well done, sir. And with that, I believe we are ready to proceed.
Let us be about our business then. The next patrol may not be so credulous.
You'll notice that without his eye patch on, Thancred's got one of his eyes a different colour. I don't know whether he's always had that, but he keeps his eye patch down over this eye. In fact, that is the first time I noticed that.
Why must you be so disappointingly brusque? You're not at all as Minfilia described, you know. I don't think you favoured me with so much as a single compliment since we set out. Tell me, did your time in the wilderness sap you of all your charm? Or are you holding it in reserve for your beloved?
This is neither the time nor the place.
Well, call me old-fashioned, But when I'm risking life and limb infiltrating an Imperial castrum, I like to be sure of my comrades' motivations.
I see now where Alphino gets it from. Minfilia is dear to me, it is true, but not in the way you think. 15 years passed, when she was still but a child. There was an incident at a parade. A Gubu broke free of its fetters and ran amok through the streets of Uldar. Had I been more attentive, I could have prevented it. But I was distracted, and her father was killed.
Yes, this is again a reference back to we've heard little bits of this story before from Flamine, I think it was, way back in 2.x when we rescued her. But this is from the Uldar 1.0 introduction. So if you chose to start off, because you got to choose your city state regardless of what character class you chose back in 1.0. If you choose to belong to Uldar, this is the parade that you got as part of your introduction to the city. You get to see young Isilia handing out flowers. You get to see Flamine dancing on the cart, and unfortunately you get to see Minfilia's father right at the end, crushed by a Gubu.
I feared she would never recover, but in the years that followed, she showed herself to be more resilient than I had ever imagined. And when she learned of her gift, she did not flinch from the responsibility, but sought to guide others on the path.
Yeah, she's done a lot of guiding, but my big critique of Minfilia is that she's never really done much of anything else. Yeah, we're what, 3.2 now, so we're a good year and a half to 2 years into the game's life, and realistically, what has Minfilia actually done? She left the Solar once or twice to come and talk to people with us, but apart from that we never really see her do much of anything, and I did always think that she was a little bit of a wasted opportunity.
She touched the hearts of all around her. Mine, Louisoire, every science. In those dark days following the calamity, she was our guiding light, our hope for a brighter future.
It kind of makes it sound like all of the good stuff that Minfilia does, she does before she meets us.
She had so many dreams, and I would give anything to make them come true.
My apologies. I can see she means the world to you. I did not mean to pick at old scars.
No harm done, I assure you. But fair is fair, my lady. What is Minfilia to you?
You mean you don't know? Only my dearest friend. When I finally emerged from my torpor, I learned that nary a day had passed without her asking after me. She never gave up hope.
They're besties.
And neither will I.
Then for Minfilia's sake, let us pray that these vestiges of Hydaelyn's intervention will lead us to her.
Beep, 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 beep. I love the fact that they've got giant keypads. Okay, back to Revenant's Toll, but just before we do that, I want to go and see if I can actually buy Avenger tokens yet. I should be able to. Bum, 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 bum. Can't actually remember whether I've got the maximum rank yet. Or is there something else I needed to do? No. In that case, I should be able to buy... There's nothing else to spend seals on. Right, let's go and send our retainer on some ventures and get her levelled up. No particular reason to do so, but we may as well. Oh god, the clipping on that sword annoys me so much. Hawker's Alley. Did they not think that, oh, that'll just clip through everybody's head? Oh, look, she's got some gil for us. Okay. Let's go talk to Flamine. Do 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 do. You'll notice the Thornton's Rain is now available. Since we've completed the Singularity Reactor against Thornton, we can now do the Minstrel's Ballad extreme version of it. I haven't done that either. Do 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 do. My thanks for coming. Hey, what? Who are you? I don't think this is the quest I was supposed to be doing. Una Calais is my name and I serve a friend. Oh, this is the Guardians of Eld quest. Yeah, this is the Warring Triad stuff. I seem to recall I actually did this the first time. Do we, Andre? Yes. Yeah, so this is talking to us about the Warring Triad and about how in the centrifugal crystal engine they sealed the three off. And that's what the Archbishop was after. Just in case we didn't know what his actual motivations were, he wanted the power of the Warring Triad. The bindings which confine the icons were severely damaged. Ravana and Bismarck. So a little bit of extra, lore there. That gives you a little bit of information on the Warring Triad there. I will actually go back and do that at some point because I haven't. What we were actually doing. Where is Flamine? Oh, is she outside? What does Lilian have for us? Oh, that's having to pour keep hard, which we still haven't done. Oh, she is. Duh. It feels good to be home again. To think that everyone is waiting for us just beyond those doors. Friends and family with whom we've shared so much. Not really. Papalimo and Ida are still in Alamigo. Minfilia's missing. God's help me, but the older I get, the more sentimental I become. Come, let us not keep them waiting. She's only 36 or something like that. One of the interesting things that the Encyclopedia Eorzea does is it lists the ages of most of the characters, and surprise, surprise, they are all fairly young. Mind you, I suppose there are quite a few signs here. With Clemens. Oh, Isildur's here. I thought he'd retired. To secret oneself in a ship's hold to secure safe passage to a faraway land? This is a tale we know all too well. When they are well rested, I should like to seek a formal introduction. Why wait, my friend? Come, there's no need to be shy. Hey, grant me a moment longer at least, though I'm happy to oblige you. My legs are rather less accommodating. Oh, my decisions. Oh! It seems that Eno is trying to decide between the Boulder brothers. Glad though I am to be home, I cannot help but think of those who have yet to return. Once we've settled in, I would join the search. Huzzah! He's returned. Together my brother and I shall serve the signs till the breaking of an 8th dawn. Ogre! But what in the seven hells drove my little brother to come to Mordona? Why, you, brother. You and the signs, of course. For 1,000 days I trained that I might grow as strong as you, that I might fight alongside you. Yet, now that you are here, I sense that you surpass me once more. No, do not tell me. You trained with the Hanish, did you not? Your eyes do not deceive, brother. I have studied the trials of the braves and drunk deep of the souls of mine enemies. Delightful. We could do with more of that around here. Heartfelt reunions with stalwart companions brings a bloody tear to the eye. What's for my tear got to say? Is that the Lady Flamine I've heard so much about? Well, well, I shall have to introduce myself. Nothing like a homecoming to lift everyone's spirits. Thanks for bringing them back, Demajen. And there they are at last. Alian, for me, it fills my heart with joy to see you both hale and healthy. And what of Higiri? Oh yeah, where is Higiri? She is well, though abroad on a mission at present. Just wasn't the same without you. Welcome back, my lady. Everybody's home. Been so long since I've seen them all like this. Too long. 'Twas the chaos born of my foolish ambition which forced them to flee. Though they are returned, there are others yet missing, others whom we cannot forsake. We'll find them, Alphino. I know we will. Minfilia, even. Ida, Papalimo, every last one. And when they walk through those doors, we'll be here to welcome them home. With me at the head of the queue, of course. Crazy little Lalafell. Random food stuff reward. Okay, so that's quest 1, which has taken us almost 30 minutes to do. This, however, has a dungeon for us, so that's going to take even longer. Alphino is eager to return to the search for Minfilia. Thancred and Kral contacted us a short while ago. It seemed that their foray into Castrum Meridianum bore fruit. They asked that we rendezvous with them in Ishtola in Idleshire, where they will share their findings. Rude though it is to depart without speaking to the guest of honour, I expect she will forgive me if I return with her daughter. Yeah. Did I set it to Idleshire? Gang's all here. How is Flamine, by the way? Enchanting as ever, I trust. My apologies. I say I am the last to arrive. So, what news have you for us? Well, as we postulated, there were indeed what appeared to be the remnants of an unexplained disturbance in the ether at the scene of the Ultima Weapon's destruction. A ripple at odds with the presiding pattern. That's where Heidelin gave us her really powerful blessing to survive Ultima. Though faint, the waveforms bore a strong resemblance to those observed following the destruction of the Isle of Val, which I believe Heidelin shielded me with the blessing of light. To confirm our findings, we paid a visit to the Sildi Aqueducts. There we detected the same waveform, but orders of magnitude larger, as one would expect of a more recent disturbance. Heidelin. There is no other explanation. But there's more. When I studied the site where Ishtola used flow, it appeared that not 2, but 3 beings had been affected. Yet, unlike Ishtola and Thancred, there was no trail to follow. Our unknown third party was simply there, and then not there. Now, recall your visions of a vast crystal floating in a sea of ether. Though this too is but a theory, studies of gifted subjects suggest that when communing with Heidelin, we briefly leave our bodies behind. So let us consider the facts. 1. Heidelin interceded. 2. A third being was caught in Ishtola's flow and vanished without a trace. And 3. Heidelin may have the capacity to summon the consciousness of gifted individuals to her side. You are implying, I take it, that Heidelin guided Minfilia into the compass of my magic that she might summon her body and soul unto the ethereal sea? In which case, we must needs continue our search there, for a blessing the means to do so already exists. I speak of the Anti-Tower, a Charlean construct conceived to provide scholars a vantage point over the ethereal sea. Though I know not where its entrance lies, we need only ask its last custodian, a contrary old crone who, for another blessing, refused to join the Exodus. Master Matoya was the keeper of the Anti-Tower. I had no idea. Then our course is clear. We must petition her aid once again. Bum 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 ba bum 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 ba da ba dum bum 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 ba dum. Set it off. Oop. Okay, there's a lot of disarmed. Right, disarmed is the Alexander Unlock quest. Overgun ambition is St. Mossian's Arboretum. We shall ignore those. Interesting that both of the bridges are broken in almost exactly the same manner. Also noticed there's an Ethernet shard over here. So yes, we will get one of these little fellas as a minion at the end of this questline. Die, Progo. Okay. I've never actually taken a look up in this place. Right, Master Matoya. Oh, what a surprise. Well, what secrets have you come to extract from me this time? Though it pains me to admit it, your words strike close to the mark. We humbly ask that you grant us entry to the anti-tower, that we might use it to seek a friend who we believe has been transported to the ethereal sea. And who told you I could do such a thing, I wonder? The tower was abandoned to its magical keepers 15 years ago. They have the run of the place now. If that is no deterrent to you, then by all means. Is that all? I felt sure you would seek to dissuade us from our course, given your role as custodian. Role? Hardly, and the Forum foisted the title on me. During the Exodus, every entrance to the anti-tower is sealed, save one. That one. My role consists of making sure no one with ill intent sneaks through it. Such was the Forum's final order to me. It's even got a no entry sign on it. Well, I can remove the wards right now. Will you be going or not? We will, Master Matoya. We will do whatever it takes to find Minfilia. We'll see about that. Demajen can go. Take the magicalist rogue too if you like, he's no use to me. The rest of you will stay and work, and I'll hear no argument. Those are my terms. Oh, and I should be delighted to accompany you. Lead the way, Demajen. Thancred, no. Your etheric flow has been compromised, do not deny it. To venture into an environment so thick with ether, so close to the ethereal sea, would be to risk further impairment or worse. But Minfilia could be in there, waiting for us. And you could die. And for what? If she's waiting beyond, Demajen will find her. Trust in her. Have faith. Ah, damn it all. Bring her back to us. Yeah. The duty finder has been updated with a new regular duty. Okay, right, I should be back in 1 moment. I'm just going to stretch my legs before I sit down and do this, because it might take 20 minutes or so. Okay. So the anti-tower is basically, if any of you played Castlevania Symphony of the Night, you realise that about what you think must be the end of the game is actually only halfway through the game, because you have an upside down version of the castle that you've explored for however many hours to do. And that's pretty much what the anti-tower is. It's an upside down in pretty much all ways castle. Don't know what the queue timer will be like. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, ba-na-na-na-na. There we go. Right, let's just head into the anti-tower. It sounds very sinister, doesn't it? Anti-tower. And I suppose actually the final boss is kind of sinister. And here it is, the castle. But Demajen, you said it was upside down. Oh. And there we go. Bonus poetics. I need some food. Let's use that one. Okay, reasonably straightforward dungeon. The opening sections are kind of gated off, so there's no speed running. Do not be fooled into thinking that these are these mobs are on their own. They are not. Ooh, paralysed. Let's see, what have we got at this party? We've got a monk, we've got a summoner, and an astrologian healer. So each time you kill some mobs, the next jump pad section opens up. Get a lovely view. Oops. Oh, it's not that one. It's the next one. That there's a pack and it has some ads next as it goes through. There's a treasure chest at the end of there. Ribbits. There's a lot of DPS being done here. Oops. I think that was me getting paralysed and not being able to move. And this takes us up to the first boss, who is a giant frog. A few things that you need to watch out for in this fight, but not many. Water bombs falling down from above. Odious croak, which you can get out of. It's a channeled cone attack though, so don't stand back into it too early. Right, once he walks into the middle, he will summon two Parago Quietos, and they will turn two of the party members into frogs. And the other two party members need to kill the Quietos. Like that. Toyham is a tank buster. It can stuns you for 10 seconds, but it can be cleansed. Or just heal through. This final Quiet Toad doesn't really need to be killed. Take those to hand in for seals. And we shall do our best Superman impression, or Superwoman, Supergirl, into the lower reaches, which is a you travel down the up staircase. Right. Do not attempt this if you are in fresh level 60 gear. And also, if you don't have any good AoE in your party, having a well-geared summoner for this does help actually. Although their AoE is nowhere near as good as it used to be, much to their annoyance. And these doors will make part of this. These hit kinda hard. At least they used to, maybe they don't in this gear. Try and keep the Spriggans facing away from everybody else because they do that cone attack. There's nothing particularly special to think about if you are a DPS or a healer in this section. Well, I'm sure they've really nerfed the amount of MP that you get from blood price. Right, this will take us on to the second boss, who is Ziggy. Ziggy and the Stardust. A nice David Bowie reference. You want to kill these they're very easy to kill. And then you want to pull him to the edge. Those rings will, as you can see in the final one over there, they will keep on getting bigger the longer they are left alive. If he takes aim on you, you want to go and hide behind one of the rocks. Not like that. He'll fire 2 shots, I think it is. I think it might be 3. Oh dear. With high enough DPS, you can actually kill him before he does it a second time. Not entirely sure what happened to our healer there. Greed, greed, greed. Okay, really hammering home the upside down castle feel. We get to fight past the chandeliers, and you can see the water. Well, you can't with all the lighting effects going on, but there is water running up the walls. So we get little mammoths here. I'm assuming they modelled this the right way up first of all, and then turned it upside down. Must be weird otherwise. So, fighting on the ceiling. These things are a bit of a pain in the arse to tank. Big hitboxes. And they've got a nasty AoE, which, yeah, that's it. To be honest, it probably won't hit me that hard, but 4,000 damage in 255 gear, so. Where's he going? for any new tanks, if you have a summoner in your party or a scholar and they put down their big fiery blue AoE, don't then pull all the mobs out of it. It's on a 45-second cooldown these days. It's a bit annoying. It's not so bad if you do it for a scholar, but if you do it for a summoner, they'll get really pissed because they've nerfed their AoE damage in many other ways. Right, there's a few things that drop down in this room, if I remember. Is this the one where if you get close to the doors, things spawn? No. No Starstorm for you. I think those statues are going to come to life in a second. A lot of AoE circles to dodge on this one. Yeah, just generally speaking, dodge the AoEs, kill the enemies. There's no particular priority that you should kill them in. The Centaur's hit's probably the hardest, but not by a whole amount. And here is the final boss. Adorable dolls, terrible dolls. Yip ho ho. They're very creepy. First stage of this fight, kill them all. Don't stand in their AoEs. They've got no aggro table, so don't worry about tanking them. Oh, they do cry. Right, as a tank, position yourself roughly here. She will do the glare attack at people, which will confuse them. Knockout does a massive chunk of damage. Brace puts shields up around her. You can only attack her from a particular side. In this case, it's the front. This is a mechanic that quite a few enemies will use over the course of the expansion and into Stormblood. Dollhouse will turn two people into dolls. And whilst they are dolls, Calcabrino herself will do this slapstick. So if your healer is put into a doll, you it can get a bit nasty. Not at this level, admittedly. Not at this item level, I should say. Goes on for quite some time. Again, when you see knockout casting, pop yourself a nice tank busting cooldown. You can turn away from the gaze attack so that you're not affected by it. Right, brace again. Same side. I don't know whether it's always the same side, I can't remember. But it will reflect attacks back at you, I believe, if you hit it from the wrong angle. Yeah. Dollhouse. Ooh. I've been turned into a doll. And there we go. Yeah, so that's the anti-tower. Thanks all. Good job. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Right, we're going to get some pretty heavy plot now, if I remember.
Hear, feel, think.
So we're right at the bottom of the tower, close to the ethereal sea. So it's easy to communicate with us.
Through time and space hast thou journeyed unto me, as I knew thou wouldst.
And you'll notice that that is not Heidelin's voice.
We are the word of the mother. We, who were once called Minfilia. Much time hath passed for thee since the bloody banquet, since I hearkened to her word. Mother, Heidelin, guided me towards Y'shtola and Thancred, that I might be swept up in their flow and delivered unto the ethereal sea. There, adrift and alone, her voice silent once more, I prayed for those we have lost, for those we can yet save. To her I would make an offering. We speak now with one voice, one will, one word. Unto thee we bequeath the most precious of gifts, the truth which lieth at the heart of this world.
Okay, so we are finally going to get some real information on the big plot.
Thus do we beseech thee once more. Hear, feel, think.
Notice they've put a bit of effort into doing some lip syncing here as well.
Before there was life, in the depths of the ethereal sea, light and dark did once dwell as one. But the darkness coveted power, and the balance was broken. Thus was I forced to banish him unto the distant heavens, to forever remain apart, a moon bound.
Which is why the Asians were on the moon in that cutscene right at the end of 3.0, because that's where Zodiac is bound.
In sundering the star did we cry out, and the barriers twixt planes chanced to falter. Across 10 and 3 were we then divided, reflections of the source, each possessed of a shard.
So Heidelin, the Mother Crystal, once she banished away Zodiac and bound him into the moon, the pain of doing that caused the boundaries of the planes to falter, and 13 reflections of her, 13 shards, 13 copies, were fragmented off.
Zodiac longeth to be made whole. For his restoration, for his resurrection, his servants labor without cease. They seek to tear down the barriers which surround the source. Thus do they rejoice in their ardor, in your calamities, for each marks a rejoining.
So each time they cause enough chaos on another world, another shard, and they mess up the balance, it's drawn back into the source through the barriers, and in doing so, they get one step closer to Zodiac's release.
Seven times
Lights.
have they succeeded. 7 times hath the darkness grown stronger. 7 times have I failed. The Asians cannot be suffered to continue. This is my final.
Yeah, so half of them already, over half, have already succumbed to the darkness, so the balance is shifting in the Asians' favour, and therefore Heidelin is becoming weaker and weaker and weaker.
The crystal's power is all but spent. With what remains, I will return you to the shore of the ethereal sea. Blessed children, go forth and seek. Seek.
Notice she says children. Oh. Poor Minfilia.
thank the 12.
Don't thank her yet.
Did you find her? Did you find Minfilia?
Sad music.
The word of the mother? I'm not sure I understand.
It's because you're dense, Alphino.
Nor am I. Cryer?
As unbelievable as it sounds, I see no reason to doubt her. The word's tale. No one was more sensitive to the will of Hydaelyn than Minfilia. And if Hydaelyn has grown so weak that she can barely make herself heard, it is not hard to see why Minfilia, having joined with her, might struggle to maintain her own form.
What? Why would she need to maintain her own form? Are you saying she's gone?
Yes. Yes, we are.
But that cannot be! Not now. Not after all we have accomplished. We were meant to usher in the dawn's light together.
She threw herself on the fire to fuel your dawn's light, boy. You'll just have to usher it in on your own.
Must you be so ungentle?
Tell me about the Scions, boy.
The scions of the Seventh Dawn lay before Eorzea's salvation. Whenever the realm is threatened, be it by Primal, Ascian, Garlean, or any other, we take up arms in her defense, that all in Eorzea may live to see a brighter tomorrow.
And that's very noble of you. But in chasing after these lofty goals of yours, you seem to have lost sight of some basic truths. To win a war, you must be willing to do whatever it takes. To fight, to kill, and if necessary, to die. The path you've chosen is paved with the dead. Walk it with your eyes open, or not at all.
I know the truth of which you speak, and have from the first. If the Ascians will go to any length to resurrect their god, then we must needs be as committed to our cause, to unmask them and their schemes, and to crush them both utterly. Come, there is much to be done.
Yes, of course.
Thancred, wait! No. No, this is all wrong.
The characters' faces look much better without the extra lighting on them. The blessed few who get to choose how and when and for what they die. Not that you need reminding, I suppose, but the boy. All the suffering he has known, he still clings to the notion that there is a cosmic justice, a morality by which we are saved or condemned. And there isn't. She's not coming back, is she? I know that, I do. To give all of her beliefs was ever her way. So will we, as we must. What greater calling could there be than to stand against the dark as defenders of the light? And yet, where does it end? The sacrifice, the loss? Can't summon a minion here. Okay, so that is quest 2. Alphinaud has reached a decision. I must ask that you not breathe a word of this to any of the others at the Rising Stones, especially Flamine. I will brief Tatar on what we've learned, as well as Urianger. He may have insight into what the word told us. As for you, after all you've done, I'd say you've earned a rest. Ah, but speaking of well-earned rewards, I received a missive from Sir Emmerich while you were away. It would seem he's planning a ceremony of some sort and would like you to attend. He didn't divulge the details, preferring instead to explain in person. Maybe you should pay him a visit? So, as it often does, when one storyline takes a pause, another comes to the forefront. Oops. You'll notice from that entire dungeon run we didn't exactly get a huge amount of experience towards the next level. Mobs aren't giving particularly big chunks. Right, Temple Guard Knight. Knight Guard. Yes, that. Sir Emmerich. How you been, sir? How's the gut
Pleasure
healing
to
up?
see you again, my friend. I take it you received our invitation.
Yes.
Good, good. You of all people should be present.
Huh?
When the true brothers of the faith seized control of the vault, I feared the worst. Yet in adversity were we blessed with the promise of peace between man and dragon through Vidofnir's timely rescue of an innocent child. Timely, I say, though miraculous or providential might better describe the event. The gods themselves could not have devised a more fitting symbol of hope. Needless to say, we could scarce let such an opportunity pass us by. Which is why I set about making formal arrangements for a peace conference between our peoples. You and yours have done more to bring us together than any, and it is only right that you attend.
Quite so.
But I confess that is not the only reason I would be glad to have you there. Given Nidhogg's implacable opposition to the peace, it is possible that he and his followers may attempt to disrupt proceedings, in which event your presence would be a comfort to all in attendance. Pray understand, I have no wish to invite the worm's ire, but if our fractured nation is to heal, if we are to move forward as a people united, then we must do whatever is necessary to bring about lasting change.
Ooh.
Tis nothing. 'Tis nothing. Lucia cautioned me against giving vent to my passions, lest my wounds reopen. It has not been easy reaching out to our opponents in Ishgard, many of whom sympathized with the actions of the true brothers. But in so doing, we have limited the influence of the Zealots. The people are ready, my friend. This conference must go ahead. I knew you would understand. The conference will take place on the border of Ishgardian and Dravanian territory in Falcon's Nest. Lucia is there seeing to the final preparations even as we speak. Pray join her at your earliest convenience. It would not do for the guest of honor to arrive late, after all. Oh, and one more thing. A drink. We should make time for one. Once the conference is concluded, I mean. By my reckoning, 'tis long overdue.
Sir Emmerich, are you flirting? Not. We've got other things in our mind. I just want to check something. Oh, it is off. Right. To Falcon's Nest. Do-do-do. So we've gone from the quite sad but reasonably slow-paced revelations about Minfilia and the different shards and all of that. I seem to recall the pace is about to pick up a little bit. Excuse me. The Lord Commander said you would come. And he invited me out for a drink too. As you can see, preparations for the conference are proceeding apace. Mark well the curtain above. It conceals a relief that will be unveiled during the conference. The masons labour night and day to see it finished on schedule. Sir Emmerich wanted a symbol which would endure long after this conference is concluded. I think he will be pleased with the result. It was not my war, but I made it mine, and to see it draw closer to a resolution fills me with a strange hope. His face, yeah, Freudian slip there, Lucia. His faith is infectious, is it not? His certainty that we can be better than we are. Forgive me, I'm rambling. You must be tired from your journey. Go, rest, I will not keep you. Yes, that teleport was very, very taxing. If you'd rather not take a rest, then why not take a walk around Falcon's Nest, make your presence known to the people and so forth. In addition to those who have come far and wide to attend this ceremony, you may meet Lords Artwell and Madeline, who graciously volunteered their services. They should be glad to see you. Now, if you'd excuse me, I must needs return to my duties. Sir Redweld, how are you doing? I'm glad to see the rumours were true. Well met, Mistress Thornley, and fear not. I've no intention of begging your aid with this or that. Everything appears to be in order. My only lingering concern is that one of the convictors might not have been informed of our plans. As I recall, Vidofta may pass directly over their encampment. The last thing we need is a glory-seeking nobleman attempting to slay a Dravanian ambassador to a peace conference. You know when everything's set to begin? I wasn't sure how many might come, so I thought it best to come early and find a spot with a great view. When I heard that Sir Emmerich was planning to make a speech, I knew I couldn't miss it. I mean, the man risked his own neck to rescue those hostages. How often do we get heroes like that in this day and age? And he's more than a fighter too, he's a thinker he is. He's got plans to better our lives, to change things, and he'll do it by the Fury. Me and my friends and family, we all believe he can do it. Bloody exciting, isn't it? Not just peace with the dragons, but with all them heretics besides. Don't misunderstand, we've all got a healthy fear of being bathed in dragonfire. That being said, the heretics did far more to hinder our efforts here in the past, so hearing that we're close to reconciliation comes as a great relief. How much has changed since we fought alongside each other in the vault? If you'd told me then that we would soon be hosting a peace conference, I would have thought you a naive fool. Yet, here we are, preparing to make that fantasy a reality. Ha! And here I am, labouring to make it so. Lord Artwell even, if I may. Certainly, First Commander. How may I be of service? Some of the convictors are refusing to stand down. The majority were willing to do so, but a small party have instead pledged to engage any Travanians bound for Falcon's Nest. Fury take me, they would defy Sir Emmerich's commands if they dare attack Verdofnir. It will not come to that, but to see that it does not, we must needs hasten to their encampment. They should be far more reluctant to oppose us were a lord of House Forton present. Now I understand completely. Let us depart at once. But before we go, I must ask, would you look after Manolin when I'm away? As you know, he's ever been an impulsive, changeable child, but recently he seems to have been suffering from a bout of melancholy. I thought to lift his spirits by having him assist with guard duty, a simple but honourable charge and likely to expose him to danger given the presence of so many other knights. Alas, he has taken no interest, and I fear he may abandon his post in my absence. All I ask is that you keep an eye on him until I return, exhausting though that may be. Thank you, my friend. I promise we will not be long. Oh good, we get to babysit a Manolin. Oof. I'm rather busy at the moment, Uncle Girl, guarding this tavern as it were. Ah, I see now. After all, I thought I might be derelict in my duties, eh? The nerve of my brother to question my dedication. But, since you are here, perhaps I can put you to proper use. The wasteland beyond these walls must be kept safe for travellers, yet I have been forbidden from leaving Falcon's Nest. It wouldn't do for our esteemed guest to be devoured by wolves, so no. Yet that is precisely what will happen if we do not cull the roaming packs. Your map, if I may. Right. There. Those are the points our scouts marked for patrol. I'll leave you to it, old girl. Come, Anawa. I must return to my rounds. Oh dear. Do be careful, my lady. Something is going on with Manolin. The irony, stand watch for wolves, we have to fly over a fate worth of wolves. Get rid of that. Any wolves? These things shouldn't aggro us because we're level 51. Release the Kraken! Ooh, there's another one there. I didn't see that third one. Either way, they are not much of a challenge with this gear. Apparently I need to kill some depoys as well. May as well do that while we are here. How? How many do we need to kill? I'm going to guess at 3. I'm correct. They're really bizarre looking things. There's a certain amount of irony at calling them deep eyes because of course with only one eye they're not going to have any depth of perception unless their eyes work differently to ours. Demajen Thornley, Wolf's Bane. It pleases me to inform you that I have completed my rounds and that all is well in Falcon's Nest. Oh, and there was a grizzled fellow looking for you. You know, the one who made the arsonist confess. Clever that. That'd be Thancred. Thancred, was it? He was asking after you. Anyway, once I noticed the garish weapons he was sporting, I deemed it a waste to leave him be. I dispatched him to an area I neglected to mark on your map. Yes, this one. If you hurry, he might still be there. Oh, Madeline, just sending people out to do stuff. Which area is it? Oh, it's Camp Rivers, mate. Where there used to be an etherite in 1.0. Where are you? I fancy meeting you here. It was fortunate I came when I did. These two would not have fared well against the wolves on their own. The young lord wasted no time taking advantage of you, did he? And me, I suppose. Let us return to Falcon's Nest then and see what other thrilling tasks he may have for us. Not the most exciting of quests, but unlike a lot of kind of go here, talk to X person in quests in other MMOs, at least this one's got a decent story to go with it. Quite a nice view of Falcon's Nest from up here, as you'd kind of expect, really. And there they are, a pair of gallant heroes if I ever saw them. Comrades in arms reunited at last. By your selfless sacrifice have you guaranteed the safety of our many guests. On behalf of Ishgard, I thank you both. And with that, there is nothing left to do but to enjoy our well-earned rest. Oh, and this should of course go without saying, but let's keep those last few favours between us, yes. Artwell wouldn't understand. Right then, the first floor of those barracks has been converted into a tavern for the duration of the conference. Why don't you go and have something to eat? For once, a suggestion with which I agree. Go on ahead, Demajen, I'll join with you anon. Clipping, clipping.
Welcome, welcome. Find yourself an empty seat and I'll be with you in a moment. Cold out, isn't it? Here, a mug on the house. Let's get some colour back in them cheeks.
Thank you. Glug, glug, glug.
Freed food will be a bit longer than usual. We've got a lot of hungry folk to feed, what with the conference and all. Oh, so many people with cause to celebrate. To think there could be peace in our time, after all them years of fighting. When I heard about the conference, I knew I had to come. I knew I had to be here, to do my bit. My husband, he died fighting the dragons, you see. And here we are, about to break bread with him.
The tone of her voice there fills me with a little bit of hesitation. Oh. Oh.
You were right, my friend. You look tired. Reckon you could do with a good long rest? After all you've done, I'd say you've earned it.
Uh-oh.
Sleep now. Sleep. Sleep and leave us to our affairs.
Uh-oh. This conference.
Never your fight.
No. She's got a point. It was never our fight. But we made it so. Ooh. Echo time.
My son. They told me he walks in Alone's halls. Him and the rest of his unit.
They told me the same.
I expect they think it's comforting. Every time I come, I cry. I cannot bear to remember, but to forget would be 1,000 times worse. Yet that is what they would have us do. Accept this truth for the sake of peace. Bury the past and look to the future. But he was my future. My flesh and blood. My heart.
Pretty powerful emotional themes here. Especially considering the state of the world currently.
Is this it? Are we the only ones with the courage to oppose this madness? Cowards, a lot of them.
They think only of the prize, of the peace Sir Emmerich promises them. They know in their hearts it's a lie, but they go along with it anyway, desperate fools. But not I. Not I! I see the worm that killed my brother in my dreams every night, and I will not rest until he lies broken at my feet. Him and every last one of his accursed kin.
All this nonsense about Kings of Eld, as if I care what they did or didn't do, makes no difference to me and mine. Have the dragons sued for peace in 1,000 years? Are they bollocks? It's a bloody ruse is what it is, and Sir Emmerich and the rest of them bloody fallen for it.
But what can we do? They believe, and naught we can say will ever change their minds. Whether we like it or not, man and dragon will come together at Vulcan's Nest, and all will be forgiven. Forgiven and forgotten.
I don't think that's what's being suggested. It's not a case of forgive and forget, it's...
No. I will not let that happen. They will remember the true face of the enemy. I will show it to them. And we will rise up against them once more.
And what do you hope to accomplish?
Hey! Hey! This is no time for napping. Do you have your wits about you? Good. Come with me. We have a crisis on our hands.
Of course we do.
Hear me, brothers and sisters. Do not be fooled by the honeyed words of the Dravarnians. The peace they promise is but a prelude to slaughter. Remember your husbands and wives never returned from war. Your children torn apart by fang and claw. All your loved ones shown no mercy. Does not your heart cry out for vengeance? Your blood boil at the injustice? Remember the face of your enemy, brothers and sisters! Remember it! And strike back!
You there! Don't just stand around gawping! Do something, man! Stop her!
Yes, my lord.
Wait.
See here the true nature of the Highborn. With lies and deception they lead us to our doom. And dare we raise our voices in dissent? Death is our reward.
You've been shot in the arm, you'll live.
This is the choice they have given us, brothers and sisters. Death by dragon's fang, or death by nobleman's command. Death to all we hold dear. I spit on your choices, noblemen! You will take no more from me! No more! No more!
What have you done?
I only did as you ordered, my lord.
No, you didn't.
I gave no such order. I did not. I never meant for anyone to...
Oh dear. dare say that could not have played out any worse, given that the First Commander and Lord Otterwell are not here to take control of the situation. I spoke with a messenger who said they'd be returning shortly, but until they do, nothing will be done. Lord Manlin has retreated to the barracks and is refusing to speak to anyone. Therefore it falls to us to ensure that order has been restored. Come, let us walk the street and speak with the people. My wife and I fell while fleeing away with the others at first. The co-urgents tended to have bruises afterwards. Those mad fools ruined everything. And for what? Oops. I'd heard the rumours that the young lord was a drunken fool. What imbecile thought it would be a good idea to let him have the run of Falcon's Nest? Well, I say him and Sir Emmerich take their bloody change and shove it at their arses. I'll not be taken in by that rot again. They were wrong to resort to violence, but when I heard her speak, her words was a dagger in my heart. Who are we to decide that enough is enough, that their calls for justice can never be answered? Will this be the end of it, or will there be others like them and the true brothers? I do not want to bear steel against my kinsmen ever again. I do not know if I ever can, if I even can. Well, what say you? People are pissed off. So, the violence has passed, but the people are far from recovered. That is to be expected. For the moment, it appears that no innocents were harmed by the guards. The blame for all casualties can be placed squarely upon the protesters. Nevertheless, the people will not soon forget the image of a young lordling ordering the public execution when an unarmed protester, one whose words resonated with the hearts of many. After all, who among us has not lost loved ones? Huge sword. Does that clip horribly through my head? Yes, that will probably clip horribly through my head. I'll take it anyway for glamour. Lord Otterwell and the First Commander should have returned by now. To the tavern then. Our first order of business will be to speak with Lord Manlin, and I somehow doubt that he has moved an inch since we last saw him. Ah, here we are. My apologies, Demajen. I bear full responsibility for this debacle. There'll be time for that later. I, for one, am more concerned about picking up the pieces. What do we know? According to initial reports, the protest was orchestrated by the young woman who Lord Manlin ordered shot. He didn't order her shot. She and her conspirators infiltrated Falcon's Nest, posing as servants and guests. Several were taken alive, others resisted and were struck down. Still others took their own lives. Our forces suffered casualties as well, but by the grace of the Fury, no civilians were seriously injured. Still remarkably, the ringleader yet lives, for the time being at least. The co-urgents are doing what they can for her, but she may not live through the night. Given their impeccable timing, it is likely that the convictors who drew us away from the hamlet were in league with the protesters. Accordingly, we have detained them for questioning. I'll be sworn that these villains spent as much effort planning the failure of this peace conference as we did in its success. Well, if the mood of the hamlet is any indication, theirs has been the more fruitful labours. In the wake of the protest, the people seem disillusioned. You spoke with them, then? I see. Sir Emmerich placed his trust in me. It will be difficult to explain what has happened here. Remember how far we have come, First Commander. The people's faith may be shaken, but we convinced them before, and we will do so again. If we can but find a means to remind them, to show them once more the promise that change holds for all, and this tragedy too shall pass into the past. We must pray that you are right. Nevertheless, for the time being, I have no choice but to suspend the peace conference pending Sir Emmerich's final decision. Under the circumstances, I cannot leave Falcon's Nest. Would you deliver the report to will you deliver my report to the Lord Commander in my stead? Get up, Madeline, you're going with her. Go on without me. I was not asking. You will answer for your actions in person. Is that clear? Yes, my lord. Come, Manawa. Your manservant is not here. In fact, I have not seen him for some time. Manawa? Manawa? I could have sworn he was... Where is Onawa? I actually can't remember where he is. Oh, I can. He's out here. And he's hurt.
Onawa! No, no! What have they done to you? Onawa! Onawa!
Is that you, my lord? You seem rather flustered.
Because of you, you imbecile! What in the seven hells happened to you?
My apologies. Some few of the guests expressed a wish to leave, and I implored them to stay. It would seem they took issue with my request.
Oh, gods forgive me. If I had only been more careful with my words.
Do not blame yourself, my lord. I know that you and your brother have Ishgard's best interests at heart. That poor woman. She lives in the past, clinging to the memories of the lost. But the future holds so much promise, so much joy. And you know that better than any.
Onawa?
Calm yourself. The boy will live. But it's imperative we get him inside and into the care of a Kairujin without delay.
Oh dear.
Oh, we were so close! Why does it all have to fall to pieces? Don't they want to live in peace? Don't they want to be happy? We all want the same thing! And still it falls to pieces! Tell me, what was I supposed to do? Someone, anyone, tell me, what was I supposed to do?
Stop looking to others. You make your choice and you live with the consequences.
And what would you know about consequences? You who always know just what to say and just what to do. Your every deed is greeted with a round of applause.
You know nothing about me. I have fought tooth and nail for the people I hold dear. Done everything in my power to save them. and I have failed. Learn to live with it. I have.
Poor Thancred. I still kind of agree with Madeline to a certain extent, though. I may have overreacted, but it needed to be done. He was becoming hysterical. I understand the desire to look for reasons, for excuses to convince yourself you had no choice. But the past is the past. There is nothing to be gained from reliving your mistakes. I know this, but he... What's the... Ooh. That's kind of cool looking. Alright, choices. Fiery claws. Dumb looking knives. I have no desire to wait for the Lordling to emerge from his puddles of self-pity. We have important matters to attend to in Ishgard. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Bum 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 bum. Banana. Right, back in. Right. Let's find out what Sir Emmerich has to say about this whole situation. Ah, Count Edmont is here. What's Count Edmont have to say? We received troubling reports from Falcon's Nest. What befell you there? Shit went down. Word of the demonstration and its resolution outstripped you, Demajen. Every man, woman and child of Ishgard has heard the tale. It is rumoured that my youngest lack of judgment was to blame. Of course, such stories are prone to exaggeration. What exactly came to pass? Stuff happened. I see. So that is the truth of it. Regardless of his intent, the result is undeniable. He has furthered the cause of those misguided few who cannot let go of the past. In an instant, the delicate peace we were poised to forge is once more beyond us. To dwell so deeply on the war and the vengeance it begets, only for that too to be taken away, is it any wonder that they were left bereft? For what was this sacrifice? Have we nothing to show for our suffering? I thought peace a sufficient salve, but perhaps I was mistaken. We are warriors, Lord Edmund, and ours is a nation built on centuries of warfare. Right or wrong, this is who we are, and we deny it at our peril. To hold on to the past without being beholden to it. Aye, we must needs find a way to honour the sacrifice of our forefathers without glorying in their excesses. A difficult path, to be sure. We dare not deny the scars which mar our nation's soul, lest we spur other disillusioned souls to retrace them. But, as you say, we dare not revel in past glories either, for they are tainted all. A clear, unambiguous enemy and an undeniably righteous cause. 'Tis a bitter reflection, but lies though they were, they did long serve to unite us. No truth will ever serve us well, I fear, yet we are not without options. At our last meeting, a proposal was tabled by the other members of the Orsian Alliance for joint military exercises to strengthen the ties between our nations and test our readiness to meet with a common threat. I'd thought to delay these exercises until after the peace conference, but perhaps a grand melee would be just the thing to lift our beleaguered spirits. Better still, an occasion for the Temple Knights on the watch to take the field as allies, a unified Isgardian force filled with men and women from all walks of life, which would stand against a collection of the allied nation's finest. Hosted by Ishgard in the shadow of the Gates of Judgment, a victory under such circumstances would serve as a reaffirmation. Would serve as a reaffirmation, nay, a declaration to all and sundry that we are as strong and united as ever. Such a victory would do much to fan the flames of patriotism, it is true. But if we should be defeated, though even to hold our own against the cream of three nations might be presented as a triumph. Very well, you may count on my support for what little it is worth. However, I have a request. I would have my son Amanlin take part in the grand melee. By his deeds he has brought his shame upon Ishgard, and so by his deeds I would have him bring our nation honour. As you wish, my lord. If that is his desire, then it shall be so. Now then, we have no time to lose. Demajen, would you be so kind as to deliver my instructions to Lucia? I shall write to the Alliance leaders at once and begin making arrangements for the grand melee. Should you chance to see my son, pray inform him of his duty. If he is not already returned, he will soon enough, making every effort to avoid me. The Grand Melee, a spectacle for the ages. So, that is their solution. A grand melee to unite the people. And what part would they have you play in this affair, I wonder? You who they have taken into their confidence, upon whom they have come so heavily to rely. And will you oblige them when the proposition is made? Will you stand for Ishgard once more? Ooh, it is getting a bit much, isn't it? I will stand for my friends and comrades. We've come this far. poor choice of words, for friends tried and true then, the living and the lost. So, for this grand melee of his, Sir Emmerich wishes to field a force comprising both his Temple Knights and Hilda's Watch yet. Yes, I can only imagine what she will have to say about that. In fact, curiosity compelled me to go and see for myself. Well met, Demajen. Have you spoken with Sir Emmerich? We have, and he's got some orders for you. I was aware of the Alliance's request, so Sir Emmerich would turn these exercises into a spectacle for the masses. It is not that I doubt the efficacy of such a plan. Indeed, I know its effectiveness only too well, having witnessed it firsthand. Nevertheless, he has not once given me reason to doubt his intentions, and these are desperate times indeed. I shall select knights for the event forthwith. As for the watch, Thancred's gone to sort that out already. Did he now? How considerate of Master Thancred to seek out our young watch commander of his own volition. Alas, he acted prematurely. Pray, deliver this list of watch candidates to Hilda. I would have her best men, not her most dispensable. Where is Hilda? Hilda is in... the broom. Hi guys. Thancred's been telling me all about Sir Emmerich's grand soiree. Seems we're expected to join in. It's nice of him to invite us and all, but I hope he knows what he's doing, because we ain't dressed to dance with professional bleeding soldiers. Well. Seems the first commander's gone and handpicked her guests. Can't say I disagree with her choices though, she's got a good eye. Well, you'll be fine too. Reckon it'd inspire the lads if you were. Might take their minds off getting their eyes tanned and all. Think about it, eh? I hate to ask, but you haven't seen our favourite lordling, have you? I thought not. On the assumption that he is not to be found in his father's loving embrace, I suggest we split up and look for him. I will search foundation, you the pillars. Closure. Doo-doo-doo. Right. Oh, he's there. Picking up the gossip as always. I carried on a to the manor. Our best chirurgeons are tending to him as we speak. He's yet to wake, but surely he will. So, Father's volunteered me for this grand melee of theirs. My beloved family, always making my decisions for me. No, it's not like that, it's just... Oh, you wouldn't understand. How could you? You are free to be the woman you want to be, whereas I'm a son of Hasful Tom, don't you see? My future was determined before I was born. What I could and could not do. Right or wrong, that was the way of it, until the old order began to crumble. Now we wander amidst the rubble, searching for a purpose, for a place. All around me brave men and women rise to the occasion. With faith and conviction they dedicate themselves to their causes. But not I. I was terrified of making the wrong choice, which is why I let better men make them for me. Do this, do that, take this duty, guard this conference. I suppose I convinced myself I was above it until your friend showed me otherwise. When I saw Onawa, I wanted to scream. I wanted someone to blame. But in the end, there was only me. Only me. So you see, I cannot meekly bow my head and accept Father's command. Such cowardice is what brought me to this point. I'll go to Sir Emmerich and I will make my own decision. Yes, Madeline does get a nice chunk of character development in 3.x. Much needed character development to that. Bum, 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 bum. So annoying.
Lord Commander, if I may? I wish to speak with you before the Grand Melee.
Proceed.
How do you do it, my lord? How do you lead with such certainty, when so many of our countrymen will not hear of peace with the Dravanians? Some of them hate you almost as much as the dragons themselves. They decry you as a patricide in the streets. They even tried to kill you, for God's sakes. Yet still you march on, undaunted, where no archbishop dared to tread. What is your secret? Where do you find the strength?
For centuries, our nation has been punished for the sins of our forefathers. If our punishment is to end, I believe we must right the wrongs of antiquity and move forward as a nation united. Needless to say, my father did not share this opinion. He did not believe the people strong enough to bring about their own deliverance, trusting only in himself. Tyranny seemed to him the only solution. But I have faith in the people, Lord Amanalain. I have faith that they will weather this storm and overcome every trial we set before them. Many have fought and died to see this blight upon our nation's history cleansed, and I would not let their sacrifices be in vain. Though we invite reprisals, the risk is worth the reward.
I want to believe. I do.
Lord Commander, through my careless orders, a pall has been cast over these proceedings, and I beg the opportunity to make amends. I, Amanalain de Forton, do hereby request leave to take part in the Grand Melee.
Who am I to deny such a heartfelt plea? We would be honored to have you join the fray, my lord.
You'll take charge of the Ishgardian forces?
For all my other responsibilities, I am still Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, and I would not soon yield this duty to another.
The esteemed Sir Emeric leading the Temple Knights and the Watch into battle along with my youngest. I could wish for no more.
Then you wish for too little, my lord. There is another who might yet join the fray. An indispensable ally to whom we owe much and more.
Wonder who that could be.
An adventurer beholden to none who nevertheless chose to champion our cause, who has shared in our suffering and in our glory. A warrior without equal, who I am privileged to call a friend. There is no one I would rather have fighting by my side.
Sorry, we're not available.
I ask this in full knowledge of your obligations, and will not think less of you should you refuse. But if your conscience will allow it, might you oblige me, my friend, one more time?
Go on then, because you asked nicely. Fist punching!
Together we shall give the people a spectacle for the ages. A celebration to mark the dawning of a new era.
Well, we do give good spectacle, it's true. I like the fact, though, that we did have to think about that for a little while. Gods help me, I think it might be love. I dare say it might be cheating too. Your mere presence is enough to turn the tide of most battles. Did you see the way his eyes lit up when you nodded? It was a look of boundless relief and joy. One would think a politician more practised at concealing his emotion. Still, his honesty does him credit. For a moment I was fair inspired to pledge myself to the cause. But that would be improper. This is their fight. And yours. But not mine. What do these look like? Fancy bow. Very fancy gun. Vaguely fancy rod. Swanky book. But we also get the victory emote from this. Sir Emmerich informs me that the Alliance leaders have agreed to his proposal. The grand melee will be held here in the shadow of the Gates of Judgment and in sight of the capital. An announcement has been made and allied forces are currently en route. The eyes of Ishgard are upon us. We must not fail. A rare opportunity to see you put yourself against allied forces, outside of Carthano perhaps. I'd not missed this for the world. So, solo duty time. Take off an eyeborn dandies for daring to fight alongside us hoi polloi. I call our name days rolling as one is. Then again, it's our national pride at stake. National and personal. I am about to let a snotty-nosed lordling show me up. It looks to be a veritable who's who of the Eorzean Alliance. The only question is, who came to watch and who came to fight? Nanamo. Definitely Nanamo. It's a matter of pride for the Alliance as well. They will not scruple to send their best against us, and we must not be cowed. Too much rests on our success. You ready, Manolin? There she is. I say, when you didn't appear, I began to question. Nothing, never mind. To think that we are mere moments away from facing the cream of Eorzea's soldiery in battle. That I am mere... but what if... Oh, what am I saying? I have to stop imagining the worst. I must think of the victory, of the glory, of the stories I will tell Anwar when he awakes. Alright, I'm ready, old girl. Are you? By the Fury, how could I forget? Father bid me present this to you. I know it's sudden, but we believe the men would find it inspiring if you bore the colours of House Fortomp into battle. Pray, do us this honour. During the grand melee, some of your gear will be glamoured. Your attributes and abilities will be unaffected. Right. That's Pippin Raban. That's really cool armour. Oh, that clipping is so annoying. Here we are. In Fortomp colours. Howdy, chaps.
Let all here present heed well the rules of engagement.
I seem to recall this is really fun. The Grand Melee is a large-scale battle in which an allied company of Uldan, Gridanian and Leminster forces will be pitted against a company of Ishgardian forces. When a combatant is incapacitated, the opposing company will be awarded tactical points. The first company to attain the designated total rating of 100 points is declared the victor. During the Grand Melee, officiants may mark certain combatants with the Fury's Gaze, which will be indicated by an ethereal tether linking them to their company's flag. While defeating most combatants will award your company 1 tactical point, defeating marked combatants will award your company 10 tactical points. Marked combatants also possess enhanced attributes, rendering them more powerful and more difficult to defeat. Defending and defeating these combatants is the key to victory.
For the honor and the glory of Ishgard.
Yes, that. Nods, nods, nods. Everybody nods. Oh. I was wondering where you guys would be.
All is ready then. Very well. Brave men and women of the Eorzean Alliance, let the Grand Melee begin!
Are we actually fighting off against Roban in this? Even with his one arm. Right, let's kick some backside. Bum, 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 ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. This is actually really easy because, of course, we've got massively souped up gear compared to what we would have normally at this point.
Ishgard!
Is that all you've got?
Oi, Ricky, stop that. And you, Pippin. Didn't we just defeat Ricky? Oh, we did. They come back. Well, that's just cheating. Oi, none of this healing. Ooh, Manlin's getting his ass kicked. Fortunately, he will come back. Who's got their tether? Stone veteran.
It ends here!
Oh no.
Right there!
This poor flame veteran. Oh, come on then. Oh, we get a big fight to finish this off. Who? Cyclops! Cyclops! Everyone on your guard. All forces fall back. Hello? Oh, it's Thancred. To continue, I will deal with him. Daft sod. You hit the man, back to it. All forces, form a line on Demajen now. Don't really need your help, to be honest. He's only got one arm, but he is Raban. So, ka-ching! Ooh. Just the two of us. Well then, well met. I will not lie, I was hoping we'd come to this. So then, shall we dance? Keep forgetting it's supposed to be northern. Damn it all. It is scripted to come to this, obviously. Do 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 do. Oh shit. That's gonna hit me. Oh no, maybe not. So they're actually having a fight around the edge, I believe. Yes. The curse. I don't know whether I'm supposed to be standing in the middle there. Can I stone out of it? Oh, that'd be easy. For the glory of Ishgard. Ah, you're right. Take your victory, you earned it. We win! And for that, we get the victory emote. To be fair, he was fighting with only one arm.
Did she win? Then we...
Everybody seems surprised.
Victory is ours! Ishgard! Ishgard!
Poor Vicky.
Well fought! Well fought, my friend! You truly are the warrior of warriors.
Thank the Fury you were on our side.
Oh, my lungs are burning, and I can barely stand. I didn't think I could do it, but then I did. We did. We faced the Alliance's best, and together, with one heart, with one purpose, we prevailed. After 1,000 years of hardship, of strife and bloodshed, we are strong enough to rise to any challenge, be it on the battlefield or beyond. The future holds so much promise, so much joy. We need only show them the way.
Yes, triumph. Triumph is ours. And Nanamo's little waddle.
A truly magnificent display, Sir Knight. While doubtless less than pleased, I am quite sure the Grand Companies are honored to have been bested by such valiant warriors.
The honor was ours, Your Grace.
I am pleased to see that Ishgard's proud martial tradition is being upheld.
Indeed.
When the time comes, I trust you will fight alongside your brothers and sisters in the Eorzean Alliance with the same fervor you displayed in opposing them. I note that our friend elected to take the field in Ishgardian colors.
At my behest, Your Grace. If we have given offense, the blame lies with me.
Fear not, Sir Knight. It was a surprise, nothing more. And any hint of ill feeling was thoroughly dispelled by the spectacle of our mutual friend's duel with General Raubarn.
Ooh, a little bit of pleasure in the voice there.
On the subject of surprises, I could not help but marvel at the passion and unity of purpose displayed by your countrymen, given the troubling reports we have received of late.
Yes.
I shall take that as a compliment, Your Grace. The events to which you allude are the price of change. The end of the Dragonsong War marks the beginning of a new era for our nation, and for the people, high and lowborn alike, who will lead her into the future.
Ah, yes. The people.
Bringing back memories of Nanamo's from the idea of her standing down and turning it into a republic.
Change is indeed a perilous thing, for we who seek it, and they who fear it. I shall pray for Ishgard, and for you.
Thank you. Formal bowing and stuff.
Well, that made for a refreshing change. Congratulations on your victory, by the way.
Ta.
Ishgardians certainly seem happy with themselves. I, for my part, am merely glad you did not strain anything in the process of single-handedly winning the battle for them.
Ooh. Yes, Thancred is not well.
'Tis but a scratch, I assure you, and I will not suffer you to worry over me. Not when we have a dozen far more important concerns. Make that 2 dozen. Still, as Y'shtola never tires of telling me, we can but face them head-on, one at a time. One day at a time. As Minfilia would have done.
Yes. Such is life. Finn, what have you got to say? As long as I live, I shall never forget that duel. It was inspiring and humbling in equal measure. I feel honour bound to point out, however, that my father was fighting one-handed. Those balls. I'd forgotten what it was like to feel so alive. Not since leaving the Bloodsands have I had the privilege. Not since the Bull of Alamigo hung up his swords. Back then the outcome might have been different. But I do not begrudge you your victory. I know how far you've come, how much you've endured. Our fighting has confirmed it. We shall have to do this again one day when time allows. I shall look forward to it. Now, go. Go to the Ishgardians and celebrate your victory. You've earned it. Come, Pippin. Her Grace is expecting us. Lead on, Father. Said your goodbyes? Yeah. In all the years I've known Raban, I cannot recall ever seeing him look so happy in defeat. Well, everything seems to be falling into place, does it not? The Ishgardians have claimed their symbolic victory, and the Eorzean alliance has been strengthened in the process. Be proud, Demajen, you made this happen. Gonna take the cool looking gun. And that gives us the victory emote. Which I seem to call is just... Is it V? Yeah. Da 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 da. Right. So 2 more quests in this patch. Some more weapons to try on. The rather cool cane. The kind of meh book. Rather funky looking star globe. And this is new. The icy rapier. We have done it! Nay, you have done it. You have brought us the victory we so desperately needed. There's nothing left but to return to the capital. Come, let us see what reception awaits us. Fiddle pip.
My lord!
Onawa!
Honorwa, my boy. Shouldn't you be in bed?
Thank you for your concern, my lord. But I have largely recovered from my ordeal, and I have naught but several scars to show for it. Which I have been told some women may find appealing.
I see. And to think I was worried sick over you.
I'm sure I understand, my lord.
Well, let's put that theory to the proof, shall we?
My lord?
'Twould seem that a great many things have occurred in my absence. I thought I might begin to make amends by welcoming you in person.
Oh, you needn't have bothered Alpha now. Less time spent with you, the better.
The messengers spared not their chocobos to bring us word of your victory in the grand melee. I cannot well describe our elation when we heard the news. It called to mind the day we rejoined the Eorzean Alliance, when I glimpsed hope rekindled in the eyes of the people.
The Fury herself ushers us into a new era. Sir Emmerich, the time is now.
Aye, that it is. Reconvene the conference and summon Vidofnir to Falcon's Nest. We will make peace with Hraesvelga's brood and hasten this bloody war to its end.
Yes, Lord Commander.
About that.
I will send word to Artoirel and bid him resume preparations. Emanuelaine, you will place yourself at your brother's disposal. He will be glad of your assistance.
No stopping it now, is there? We should inform Y'shtola and the others.
My dear friend, I doubt I will ever be able to thank you enough. But when the conference is successfully concluded, I damn well mean to try.
Right, Alphino, what have you got for us? They say you duelled with General Raban within a ring of flames. I did not think the man so ostentatious. Would that I could have seen it. After we parted ways in Matoya's cave, I returned here to speak with Taro. We agreed to tell the others only that our search for Minfilia had reached an impasse. I subsequently learned that you left for Falcon's Nest, but I thought it best to keep to myself for a time. I am wont to rely on you overmuch when we are together, and I needed to think, to reflect. I still do, I suspect, but matters here seem to be coming to a head. In short, there are some things I feel I must say, though nothing so urgent that it cannot wait until after the conference. Let us make for Falcon's Nest and see if Lord Otterwell has need of our assistance. And while I do that, I'm going to nip to the loot. Back in a mo. Right. Ooh, a nice clear day in Falcon's Nest. Okay, we are pretty darn close to finishing off this particular patch. So let us get to it. Well met, Mr. Thornley, and thank you for looking after my brother. They say he fought bravely, that he did not dishonour his house, but you, my lady, to you we owe everything. As you can see, we've made every effort to strike while the iron is hot. We made our intentions known and that all would be welcome to attend. And so they came. By the fury they came. The ceremony will not be a lengthy affair, but there is still much to be done. I would speak with you more, but I must see to my duties. As for you and Master Alphino, you will do nothing but enjoy yourselves, is that clear? If any dare beg you assistance, I will have words. Well, there you have it. We have been forbidden from meddling. Shall we wait, or have you other matters to attend to before the ceremony begins? Excellent. I only hope Thancred and the others will not be late. Epochal events. Epochal? Epochal? Well, epoch is the word. Epochal events? I don't know. Do not come around very often. Yes, we are going to get some big events here. Not necessarily of the kind that Alphino is inspecting. Inspecting? Expecting. It's Kryl and Thancred in the background. Hi!
The appointed hour approaches.
It is time.
Aye.
There's the traitor girl.
She begged leave to watch the proceedings. I saw no reason not to grant it.
Should I choose to deviate from my prepared remarks, I ask that you trust in my judgment.
Uh-oh. He knows he's going to go off script.
Have I ever done otherwise?
Look!
The White Dragon!
Ah, how long it hath been since our peoples met thus, children of Thordan, even by our reckoning.
In peace.
Vidofnir, daughter of Hraesvelga, we give thanks for your visit, and bid you welcome to Falcon's Nest.
Our sire bade us hearken unto the whispers of our hearts. They spoke to us of a paradise lost, of bonds of brotherhood which they yearned to see restored.
Ours too yearn for such a restoration, and they have guided us here this day, that they might yearn no longer.
Brothers and sisters, ye who stand as witness, hearken to me.
Since the days of Eld, when the bonds betwixt man and dragon were sundered by our hand, our peoples have known only war. Bloodshed without end, losses beyond counting, and still we fought. And still we fought. Some wounds do not heal. The dead cannot be returned to us. But we, the living, can yet choose another course. Here and now, we can lay down this burden, this hatred, this vengeance. Our forebears fought not so that we could die, but that we might live. So let us honor their sacrifice and spare our children this death sentence. Let us gift them a new legacy. Life.
Betwixt our peoples yawneth a divide deeper than the deepest abyss, wider than the widest sea. Generations will live and die ere this divide is bridged. Knowing this, doth thy heart yet yearn for peace, son of Thordan?
Look now on the legacy we would leave to our children. A dream of peace, inscribed in stone for generations to come.
Father and his beloved, as they were so long ago, happy and at peace.
We've got Shiva and Hraesvalga there.
The dream they shared shall be ours once more.
Never!
Uh-oh.
Your bow!
Ew.
Child of Dravania, art thou grown so forgetful that thou wouldst forsake kith and kin and consort with the spawn of Thordan? That thou wouldst dare contemplate peace? Hearken unto me, all of you! The final chorus is nigh, and all will be held to account. All will bathe in the flames of retribution.
Nidhogg is still
Till
pissed.
the coming of that day, look you on your sins and despair, for none shall escape my wrath. None shall escape my revenge!
7 hells. Damn you, Nidhogg.
Oh, snap.
Hells take that worm! While he lives, we'll never know peace.
Aye! There'll be no end to this war till Nidhogg is dead and gone!
So let's kill the bastard and be done with it! Death to Nidhogg! Death to Nidhogg! Death to Nidhogg!
Death to Nidhogg! Death to Nidhogg! Death to Nidhogg! Death to Nidhogg! Death to Nidhogg! Death to Nidhogg!
Oh dear. The problem is, they're not wrong. I'm not entirely sure what he says there. Oh man, that did not go as planned. There they go, the last of the guests. Having come hither with hope in their hearts, they depart with hatred and bloodlust. Until the moment I saw him strike, I still held some small hope that what you'd seen in Azizlar was an illusion, perhaps. But he acted without hesitation, as did Sir Emmerich. For a mercy, Vidofna's wound was not mortal, or so Lucia tells me. The dragon was spirited away to Annex Shrine to receive care from her brethren. We can but hope her recovery is swift. But such was surely Nidhogg's intent, to deliver a proclamation not only to the children of Thordan, but to his kindred. War is coming, and you who do not stand with us stand apart. She was an example, a message to her brood, another instrument of his vengeance. Like Istinian. Just choosing these for the looks now. Right, I think this is the last quest. Give me a sec, I just need to stand up and stretch my legs. Went to the osteopath yesterday and I've come back stiffer than when I went, but that's what you come to expect with a chronic back condition. 2 seconds. Just thinking actually that this would make quite a nice, this particular scene, me stood across from Alphino just breathing, would make quite a nice kind of animated wallpaper or something. Right, so, causes and costs. We get the battle stance emote for the end of this, but we also get some armor rewards. It's only 240 from what I remember. When I said I wish to speak with you I'll start that again. When I said I wished to speak with you after the conference, I confess I envisaged rather happier circumstances. If anything, however, the latest tragedy makes the need more pressing. There are things I must say. Not to the Warrior of Light, or even my fellow Scion, but to you, my friend. But not here, no. Of course, the intercessory in Camp Dragonhead is still open to us. Let's go there. Somewhere quiet. I can't remember what actually happens in this cutscene.
Forgive me, that took longer than expected.
He said that an awful lot in 3.x.
You seem puzzled. Oh, these. I thought something warming might not go amiss. It was not all that long ago that we sat here, you and I. In our very own falling snows, as Lord Horshvon called it.
Rest in peace, Horshvon.
I still struggle to believe he is gone. And Azelle too. I had such hopes for her. Master Matoya asked me what it was all for. Why we fight. And why we die. Were I still commander of the Braves, I would doubtless have replied, for the future of Eorzea. But I'm not that man. Not anymore. I needed a new answer. One that I could live with. And when I saw Estinian at the ceremony, I knew at last what it was. I do not want to be a man who sacrifices his friends and family for a cause. I want to fight for Estinian, and I want to save him. When Nidhogg leads the Horde into battle, Ser Emmerich and his forces will do what they believe must be done. That is their choice to make. Yet even if Ser Emmerich is willing to forsake Estinian, I am not. We must fight for him, for he is our friend and ally. We may struggle, we may fail, but we must try.
Yeah. Thinking back on some of those memories. We will find a way to save him.
We will. I know we will.
Thank you, Demajen. It is unfair of me to unburden myself in this manner time after time, but I'm glad that you permit me nonetheless. You are my true friend and ally. Though not all of our fellow Scions will support our stance on Estinian, I have faith that we will win them over in due course. Such is the infectious power of hope. Right. It's quite enough solemn introspection for one night. I think we would both benefit from some time in the company of Tataru. She stays for us at Forton Manor. Let us not keep her waiting any longer. Back to Ishgard to round out the patch. I do like the melancholy nighttime music. Yet again we walk an all too familiar path. I'm reminded of when we first came to this manor. Lost and uncertain, we were granted succour in our hour of need. We were saved. Now it is our time to return the favour. Hear, hear! Let no one say that the Scions do not repay their debts. After all, what kind of people would we be if we forsook our friends? If we stopped looking for Ida and Papalimo, if we gave up hope of bringing Minfilia back? Though she knew it would cost her dearly, Minfilia reached out to us to deliver a message. She believed it was imperative that we understand the true nature of this star, of the rift between Zodiac and Eidolon, and of the Ascians' aspirations. But for all this is revealed, I cannot shake the suspicion that there is much we have yet to learn. In any event, I think it time we step back from the fray and carefully consider our next course of action. It would not be easy to turn this tragedy to triumph, but we will find a way. We will. We will. You've learned that you made battle stance.
Of all the ways for it to end. Even before his transformation, I could feel the worm's hatred swirling about Estinian. The terrible, all-consuming rage. Enough to fuel a 1,000-year quest for vengeance. It was all I could do not to run away screaming. But Ishgardians, nay, all Eorzeans, are made of sterner stuff. They face danger and death on a daily basis, and understand what it takes to win a war.
Think not too deeply on Master Matoya's words. Her intent was but to steal our resolve. That, and to remind us to look beyond these passing conflicts to trials greater still, to the truth which hides at the heart of this world.
So that's your aim, is it?
You disapprove?
Not at all. I believe it's traditional for the student to follow in the footsteps of the master. And you are so very alike.
Uh-oh.
Change. That great inexorable wave was upon us, and soon all of Ishgard would bend to its will. For all our sins, for all our scars, the future for which we had long yearned was at last within our grasp. But it would be bought at a heavy price.
Foreshadowing.
For in those twilight hours, did Nidhogg cry out for vengeance, and his brethren raise their voices for the final chorus of the Dragon Song War.
The memories of Count Edmond de Fortemps, Heaven's Ward, the gears of change. Speaking of Ida and Papalima. Caution, Ida. That is all I ask. Do not be so eager to place your faith in them, not until we know more. First gear. And there we have it. That is patch 3.2. 3.2 is the penultimate patch of the Dragon Song War. And I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, well, aren't there like 5 patches in this? And yes, there very much are. But the actual Dragon Song War stuff is pretty much over by the end of the next patch. Just try this on to show you all how daft it looks. No, darn. Dum da dum. I never actually got this version on my main. It's the helmet really that looks the daftest. The rest of it is alright, and of course it is dyeable. That's quite cool. Actually, what kind of dye options do we have? Oh no, actually, it looks much better like that. I might go and do a bit of glamoring. Quite possibly. Anyway, 3.2, the Gears of Change. Yes, it is the, as they say in, as Count Edmond says there, 3.3 is the final step, if you like, in the Dragon Song War. And if I remember correctly, yeah, Revenge of the Horde. I just had to remind myself what the patch was called. Revenge of the Horde is patch 3.3, and it does round out the Dragon Song War quite nicely. It's a short patch. There are only 6 quests in it, but there is a dungeon and a trial, and there's quite a lot of cutscenes as well. There's a good chunk of stuff story-wise that needs to be done. And then we are launching very much into some loose ends and some other bits and pieces to try and get towards Stormblood, which is quite a lot actually. It's a good 6 to 8 months worth of content after the stuff that we have to do next. But anyway, there we are. 3.5 hours take us to get through Gears of Change. Obviously, because of the dungeon, it may take you slightly longer to do, depending on your role. If you're a DPS, you'll need to wait a little bit longer in the queue for it. But yeah, patch 3.2. I think I enjoyed these. If I was to give it a rating, I very much enjoyed 3.2 more than I did 3.1. Not that there's anything wrong with 3.1 particularly, but 3.2 just got a little bit more excitement with it. The stuff with Matoya was fun. The Anti-Tower was a great dungeon. The stuff with Amanalane and his decision, and the kind of crowd and the reaction and the shooting of the peasant girl led to some interesting theoretical, ethical and moral quandaries. But most importantly for me, I think, was the kind of lore implications. It is the first time that we really find out what the Ardour and the rejoining and the umbral calamities, what they are all for. I do feel it's a little bit of a shame that the Warriors of Darkness didn't have a huge amount to do in this particular chunk of the story, but there is more of them coming up in 3.4. 3.4 is Soul Surrender, which is the big patch to do with the Warriors of Darkness. But we do still have 3.3 to get through. 3.3, if I remember correctly, is it's just realising that we're not going to be able to defeat Nidhogg on our own, and we're going to need help, and it's going to petition Hraesvalga to get his help, which is, if I remember correctly, Sarakai is the next. In fact, let me check. Yeah, Sarakai is the dungeon for the next patch, and that's us fighting through and getting Hraesvalga to help us out, for better or for worse. And then we get the final steps of faith, where we're going to face off against the big bad and see if we can somehow, some way, rescue Estinian. And you'll have to tune in for that to find out whether we are actually able to do so. But for now, it's time to say goodbye. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I shall see you in the next episode. For now, toodle pip.